Alrighty, it is 12:57 in the morning on the 8th day of April CampNaNo, and very clearly, my body is already trying to test me. I haven't even started typing yet, so we're almost an hour into today, and I haven't done a single typing thing yet. My right arm is already basically completely dead. My knuckles aren't too bad, but I can feel it really bad at my wrist, I can feel it really bad at my elbow, and I can feel it very, very bad up here, and it comes up through here very nicely. This side of my neck is tense up through here, but it doesn't like go through my arm, which is a positive. But I am going to put some icy hot all over my arm, except for my wrist. My wrist does not like icy hot. It always breaks out whenever I put icy hot on it. So I'm going to put icy hot on my elbow and up through my upper arm and onto my shoulder and my neck, and then I'm going to put my brace on here and see what happens. I'm going to start work here on a few on Untitled. I need to do something with my edit account on Nano, because I didn't update that yesterday on the actual Nano site, so I'm going to do that real fast so I don't forget. And then I'm going to attempt to work on Untitled and see if I can't write anything, even if it's only a few words, because again, my right arm is just non-existent at the moment. But I'm going to do what I can, and then I will give you guys an update at some point. Alrighty, it is 2:21, and the last time I checked, which was about 28 minutes ago, I had written 539 words in Untitled. Not a lot, but more than I was expecting, I suppose. I'm tired, but at the moment I am downloading videos for day 2's April CampNaNo video, and in order to try and keep myself awake before I ultimately switch to gaming, most likely, I'm going to go ahead and start doing some of the math on this one to eventually get to building it. So I'm going to go through and look up the sizes of a king mattress, because that's the only thing I know for certain, is that the mattresses in here are kings. That's the only thing that's like actually genuinely mentioned in the book as a measurement. So I'm going to look up that. Nightstands, typical vanities, typical dressers, typical vanity stools, because that is all stuff that is in here. And then I'm going to use those to determine how long the floor is, how big the cells are, and then I'm going to look up the size of a cell door, and also the size of walls in most basements to determine how big everything is here, and then eventually I can figure out what kind of scale I want to do it on, and then I can build it. I'm also going to film a video on that, because if you guys want to see the process on it, I will show you all of that. I think the first time I build one of these, which will be this one, I will post it as a video, and if you guys like it, I will continue to post it, more or less. That's the idea anyway. But hopefully doing some math and calculations helps keep my brain awake. Usually it does, so that is the hope. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into continuing to download videos for April CampNaNo Day 2, then I'm going to edit that video and export it, and then I'll eventually get back into writing at some point. But either way, I'll give you guys an update again at some point. Alrighty, it is 11:45 p.m. and I've spent the last 20 minutes probably trying to figure out what division of the LAPD would handle this specific crime that is going to occur in Always Watching. It's a letter that the victim, person, whatever, receives in their mailbox that is not delivered through the U.S. Postal Service. It is literally just put in their mailbox. It's not a homicide, there's no robbery, there's nothing like that. There's no drugs, there's nothing about it that puts it in the normal divisions. I have looked at the LAPD website, I've looked at the Wikipedia page for the breakdown of the Detective Bureau, so, like, robbery and homicide, homicide special, robbery special, special assault, cold case, special investigation, juvenile division, gang and narcotics, commercial crimes. Commercial crimes are online crimes like fraud and parcel scam, which I thought could be it, but that involves money. Duh. Detective support and vice unit, which is mental evaluation and threat management. Forensics, obviously. That one I know very well. Technical investigation division, information technology group, application development, emergency command control communication system division, innovation and strategic planning division. But I have gone through all of those. I have even looked up each individual one just to see what the details around each one like is comprised of, and none of them have anything about it at all. And when I look it up, just based on, you know, who would handle a threatening letter thing, all I could find were what you could do, like as a person receiving the threatening letters, to stop it, and that you could eventually call the police, but that doesn't tell me what division would work the case, which isn't what I need. So at this point, my only option is to actually just leave it blank for now, which I don't like doing. I pretty much never do that. And then eventually call the LAPD and ask, which is like the most terrifying thing that I can possibly think of. But they have a phone line, specifically, that appears to be specifically for asking questions. It is their non-emergency line. And I think that's the only way I can find out. They do have a Facebook, a Twitter, and an Instagram, and I'm going to see if they have any places on there to ask questions, because if I can ask a question, like, in basically email format, but they don't have an email listed, I would much prefer that over speaking on the phone. I don't do well with situations like speaking to actual human beings. It's very anxiety-inducing. So... and it's not something I'd be able to do right now anyway, so regardless, if I want to keep working on this book tonight and or tomorrow, I do just need to leave it blank for now. But eventually, I need to figure it out. So I am going to leave it blank at this very moment, and then after midnight, I'm going to check and see their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, see what happens, see what shows up, and go from there. But it would be great if I could find the division that handles it. I know it's a big stereotype in movies and TV shows that cops won't handle things like that, like threatening letters, that they won't do anything until, like, a crime is committed, which generally is true, in the sense that they need to put their money and resources and officers into the bigger crimes first, but they will still generally investigate, one way or another. Someone does not have to die for them to investigate something. And it's not just in regards to the LAPD, that is in regards to police officers and the police stations in general. So there has to be a division that it falls under, because I know it's not homicide and robbery, but I don't know what division it would fall under, and that's where I'm getting hung up. So, I'm going to just leave it blank. I'm not going to mention what kind of detective this particular detective is, and then we'll see what happens, but I will keep you guys updated if I ever get around to actually working up the balls to contact them, if it turns out that I can't do it through Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, but we will see what happens. I'm a little concerned, but I was really hoping that I could find it online. And I'm sure if I looked super hard, I could, but I can normally find stuff pretty easily just by changing a few words, and I could not do that this time around, so we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna get back into writing here for a few. And then I'll give you guys one more quick update before day 9 begins.